Is it a phone or a tablet? Well, I don't know, but we're going to find out together. What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and the Samsung Galaxy Note, at least the international version, is finally in the house. Now, they sent over the blue one, and just to give you a recap on the specs, 1.4 gigahertz dual-core processor, a massive 5.3-inch display, an 8-megapixel camera, and Android 2.3 with TouchWiz version 4. Is this tablet, phone, phablet, flablet, whatever you want to call it, the best thing to get? We'll take a look in the unboxing, but first some love to Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with phones like this for use in our One Paw Bandit game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile to get a device like this, you'll walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web, your camera settings, so when you walk out that door, you're good to go. It's Galaxy Note time. Is this the phone to get? We'll take a look, starting right now. So here it is, the Samsung Note, finally in my office. The Samsung Note, get it? Hot. See what I did there? Samsung Note. Rah, ha, ha, ha. Just kidding. Here's the Samsung Galaxy Note, and it's coming, or actually it's coming to AT&T in the coming months. They announced it at CES. They announced kind of a US-specific version of it, if you will, with some minor changes, like capacitive buttons at the bottom instead of that physical button down here in the middle on the international version. But just so you know, international version here, right now at least, in PhoneDog's offices. Once we get the AT&T one, I'll do an unboxing of it as well. But let's walk through some of the specs here. It's got a dual-core 1.4 gigahertz processor. It's got a 5.3-inch display. Now, this is a Super AMOLED display, and it's a true HD display. Actually, it's 1080p rather HD display. So it's pretty awesome. Or I'm sorry, 800 by 1280 pixels at 5.3 inches. So a true HD display. Then you've got an 8-megapixel camera, a 2-megapixel front-facing camera. You get the S Pen as well, and a nice big 2,500 milliamp hour battery. And they were nice enough to send over one that's completely sealed. So let's take a look here. I'm going to use the battery cover of the Samsung Captivate Glide to open it up, because you know I like to keep it in the Samsung family. So Samsung family with the battery door. Win-win. So here's the Galaxy Note, and you can see what the box looks like. Again, international version here, and then there is the device. Now this thing is a massive phone. I'm going to hold it up to, let's say, the Pantech Burst, just so you can get an idea as to how big this phone is and how it fits in the hand. I mean, there's no way, even, you know, if I'm down here, for example, I can't reach the other side of the display. But 5.3 inches, massive. Is it a phone? Is it a tablet? Well, I guess that's up to you to decide. Phablet, phonelet, whatever you want to call it. Samsung Galaxy Note, Rovid, blah, blah, whatever. I'm not going to try and butcher that. But Samsung Galaxy Note GT N7000, you've got something over here that I'm not going to read, warranty card, and then something else over here that I'm not going to try to read either. You got your 2,500 milliamp hour battery here in the box, and this is a big battery, especially in comparison. You know, Samsung's been pretty good in recent months about, at least with the US devices, putting pretty big batteries in their devices. You look at the Epic 4G Touch with a 1,800 milliamp hour battery. You look at some of the more recent ones like the Skyrocket with a 1,850 milliamp hour battery. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So we can see, okay, SIM card slot. Is that a micro or is that no, it looks like a standard. So I'm going to throw in this AT&T SIM card. Bam, there we go. And get this giant battery in here, and hopefully we'll have a charge on it. Micro SD card slot, as you can see right there. And then, of course, the camera on the back, and then the S Pen down here at the bottom, which we'll walk through that in just a second so you can get an idea as to what the device looks like and all the things that it comes with on the sides and such. So Samsung adapter here. Now this is a European adapter, but they did send over a US-based adapter as well. So I can plug the adapter into the adapter and have power. And you can see here USB cable as well. Got some earbud or ear tips as well. And then you've got a white set of white headset here in the box. So you get some goodies in the box. That's pretty nice, but you know, considering the amount you're probably spending on an unlocked device to bring this over into the US, it's always nice to have more goodies. But without further ado, let's take a look at the Galaxy Note. So we'll go ahead and power it on. Power button still on the same side there on the right side, and then you've got your physical button down here, capacitive stuff on the side, camera up top, 3.5mm headphone jack up top, a lot of stickers as well that I need to remove. Camera on the back with a flash, and then the S Pen down here at the bottom, which comes out as you would expect it to, just like that. So you've got that down there along with a micro USB charging port. So let's power this sucker on and hope there's some juice in the battery. Let's see. Come on, power on. There we go. It didn't vibrate or anything, so I wasn't sure if it was going to power up or not. So you can see, again, pretty big display in comparison to some of the other ones. 5.3 inches, it's kind of like a play on numbers, versus 3.5 inches on the iPhone 4S, 4 inches on the G2X, 4.3 inches on the Thunderbolt, 4.5 inches on the Skyrocket, 4.52 inches on the Epic 4G Touch, 4.7 inches on the Titan. This is a pretty big phone. Ooh, I need to find a different language. Let's see here. Let's do the, there we go. Let's see here. I'm not even quite sure what that language is, but we're going to switch over to English, United States, and then we're going to be golden. So there we go. We're going to skip that and jump right in to use Google location. And then bam, there we are. So you can see because the display is so large, you got 5 shortcuts down here: application, messaging, S-Memo, contacts, and phone out of the box. But I'm assuming you can edit that stuff around, and you can. Yes, you can edit that stuff around. Do not ask that again, but you can, like a typical Galaxy S2 device with TouchWiz 4.0, you can move the applications around, you can change the dock down at the bottom. So that's always nice to get that customization. But out of the box, you've got your typical 7 home screens. Now, this thing's powered by a 1.4 gigahertz dual-core Exynos processor, so it should be relatively fast. And I'm really seeing, kind of similar performance here that I saw in the original Galaxy S2. Little to no lag. It's initializing right now. But little to no lag on it, and again, with the processor boost, it should be pretty decent. Now, what's going to be interesting is to look at this and see, with a 2500 milliamp hour battery, that's a pretty big honking battery for Android, but with a 5.3-inch display, will it die as quickly? Will the battery life be pretty decent? Walk through out of the box here, you've got a couple of typical Samsung applications. You've got S Planner, you have, of course, clock maps, all the Google stuff, but you've got Social Hub, Music Hub, and Readers Hub as well, and then Keys Air, rather. Down there at the bottom, I was corrected a couple of times by Samsung. It is actually Keys Air. All Share, Google Talk, Video Maker, Photo Editor. So you get a lot of goodies out of the box. And then, of course, the S-Memo as well, so you can utilize that S Pen. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that since this is the unboxing. You can see easy to press and hold on the home screen. There are some shortcuts as well. I believe, they were showing me these at PepCom at CES. You have to press and hold the button. I think you can scroll back and forth, or you can do a couple of different things. I'll have to look those up because honestly I can't remember all of the shortcuts with the S Pen. Double tap the screen while pressing the pen button. Use 2 fingers. Okay, cool. Do not show again. So we're going to go in here to a new note. And you can see, much like a tablet, pretty easy to play around with. Phone, dog. Actually, that's capital D. Silly me. Rocks my socks. Phone dog rocks my socks. And so you can see, typically, typical application here, pretty easy to use. Let's go into text, and of course I can use the physical keyboard if I so desire, and I can either use the S Pen or I can use, of course, my hands. How are you doing? Which I am failing at typing right now, but out of the box, let's see what you get actually. Input method, you get Samsung keypad and swipe as well, pre-installed on this device. And we'll go back to drawing, because drawing is just more fun, right? And while I'm thinking about it, we probably should take a look at this. You get some shortcuts up here at the top: Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, silent mode, auto rotation, of course the AT&T network tag. I'm not getting any data yet, interestingly enough, so I have to take a look and see, I have to look at the APNs and kind of do some configuring there in case it's just not showing up. But we'll go ahead and add a second note, save that one, and Galaxy Note is, and I've been told that this is a cool thing to say, sick nasty. Galaxy Note is sick nasty. Like half the YouTube audience is like, oh my god. Galaxy Note is sick nasty. I'm going to put it in quotes to even make it even more old manish. Galaxy Note is sick nasty. Yo. How's that? So you see, Galaxy Note is sick nasty. Yo. Pretty easy to type on, pretty easy to draw on, and then of course I have the eraser. So I have a lot of different things I can do here. And of course, like I said in the full review, I'll be sure to get all these little S Pen tricks down pat so I can show those off. And you can take a look at some of those. But otherwise, typical TouchWiz 4.0 setup here. No real changes that I can see just out of the gate. Everything looks pretty similar. Messaging here. Interface is exactly how you remember it from the Galaxy S2, the Skyrocket, all these recent Galaxy S2 branded devices. And then typical setup here as well. With the, but of course, huge 5.3-inch display on this device. Makes it pretty, I would say, hard to hold in the hand. This is borderline too big for me, but hey, maybe you want a phone, maybe you want a tablet. And this could be the perfect device for you. Now to answer some questions on Twitter, let's take a look and get this sucker over into my pocket. Because somebody asked, is this, you're going to need like MC Hammer style pants to wear this and keep it in your pocket? Let's take a look. Okay, here's the pocket test. Let's see. I'm going to put it down in my pocket, and you can see right there, I'm going to get close to the camera so you can take a look at my pocket, yo. You can see it doesn't even fit actually all the way down in my jeans. It still kind of sticks out a little bit. So let's do that. Let me give you another angle as well. Okay, let's get a second line up here. Here's what it looks like in my pocket. You can see the Galaxy Note. Is that a Galaxy Note in your pocket? You can see right there the way it looks. So yeah, it's definitely a bulky thing. I feel like I'm a little self-conscious here showing off my, my whole midsection here on YouTube, but I'm just kidding. You guys are cool. But you can see here, it's a pretty big device. And pretty big in the pocket in comparison to other devices on the market, iPhone 4S, G2X, Epic 4G Touch, just to name a few. Even though the Epic 4G Touch has a pretty big display, you can see what it looks like coming out of my pocket there. So I can be like, Hello. Yeah, so in conclusion, it passes the pocket test, but just barely. It is a pretty interesting lock screen, too. Let's take a look at the new lock screen. Looks like just a simple swipe, and I noticed it's not the typical TouchWiz 4.0 layout. But yeah, it passed the pocket test, but just barely. It's going to be a big device. It's going to be tablet size, and it's going to be hard to fit in the pocket, especially if you're wearing tight jeans or, you know, perhaps you're wearing pants that don't have pleats. Like, it's definitely going to show that you have something big in your pocket. It's going to kind of resemble keys or something else, you know, you may not want to carry around in your pocket all the time. But still, you know, that's kind of the trade-off you get with a nice big display. You get a big phone. So that's big in the pocket. But here, just to give you a comparison to some of the other devices on the market, size differences. There's the iPhone 4S on the Galaxy Note. And there is the Pantech Burst on the Galaxy Note, just stuff I happen to have on my desk at the moment. And then there is the Captivate Glide on the Galaxy Note as well. So it's a big phone, but we're going to do a lot more testing in the full review, so stay tuned. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with the Samsung Galaxy Note, so keep it locked on the site for continuing coverage. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're always giving away cool stuff. We're always doing just awesome stuff, and we're on there. We're fun to talk to, so be sure to hit us up. I need to get all these stickers off of this device at some point. But yeah, hit us up, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. I get sidetracked easily, what can I say? And then be sure to follow me on Twitter personally, PhoneDog_Aaron, and on Facebook at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks so much for watching. More to come on this big honking device, the Samsung Galaxy Note, on PhoneDog.com. We'll see you next time.